The squeaky wheel gets the oil. You got to make noise. You got to be out there. You can't sell a secret.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're a small business wanting to get more leads and everything, then you need to be thinking laterally. You need to be thinking, well, okay, I need to get online. I need to get find these new customers. Where are the customers at? The customers are out here on these platforms, on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube. That's the new advertising. Influencers create the buzz.
Yep.
You, as in the tech journalist, create the sale. Here's this prediction, right? In the next 5 to 10 years, we won't be carrying phones anymore.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Sip on This. We have a very special guest with us today, Steve Fenech from Tech Guide. How are you, Steve?
G'day, guys. Going well.
How you going,
that's
mate?
good, mate. And Emad with us as usual.
Pleasure to be here.
It's great to be actually talking to you in person. I normally talk to you over email quite a fair bit, so great to be here in person,
mate, it's
in the flesh.
It's good to have a podcast guru with us for once. I mean, we're up to maybe our number 30 podcast. How many have you got under your belt?
Well, on our Tech Guide, I've just hit 700. 701 now.
Yeah, mate. Nice.
Two Blokes Talking Tech is 740.
Yeah, wow.
And I've got a movie podcast we've been doing for 5 years, and Trevor and I also have a EV podcast that's in its third year as well. So, mate, we've been podcasting since people never knew what a podcast was. So
seasoned.
We've been doing it a while.
How long have you been running a Tech Guide now?
Tech Guide is 15 years old. It started in 2011. I worked previously at the Daily Telegraph. I was their national tech reporter, and had done that since 2003.
Yeah.
But what a lot of people don't know is that I actually used to be a sports writer. I was a sports editor of the Daily Telegraph back before I was even doing any tech.
Yeah.
So most of my career at News Limited was in sport. And like I was sports editor during the Sydney Olympics. You may have heard this little event we had back in 2000. That was a busy time. But
good old times.
People often ask me, well, how did you go from sport to tech?
Yeah.
And the short story is that while I was sports editor, I was asked to start another newspaper for News Limited.
Right.
So the Herald had started a Central Coast paper, and they said, well, they can't have a Central Coast paper and we don't have a Central Coast paper. Yeah. So go and make one.
Yeah, right.
So I gathered a team of people, and we decided rather than having going like a separate publication, we decided to use the power of the Telegraph brand and have an insert for the Central Coast. So a 16-page Central Coast edition inside the paper. And, mate, that blew them out of the water.
Yeah, nice.
And the consensus afterwards was, I was the golden child thinking, how good is this? We beat them and we're flying. And they promoted me to the assistant editor of the whole paper. Yeah, so I was sort of in charge of production and coming up with new products for the paper.
Yeah, right.
Now, back then I was always a tech head. Loved tech, was an early adopter. Mate, bought my first $2,000 DVD player back when no one knew what they were, was always into tech. And I got frustrated thinking there's nothing in my newspaper for people to find out about this stuff. And this was around 2003 when there were flat screen TVs and digital cameras, and people were starting to have these phones. And I'm thinking there's a gap in the market here. We need to do something. So I put together a proposal and said, look, here's what we can do. I want to create a tech lift out for people who know nothing about it. Yeah, so they get our readers, working class, limited budget. They want to be able to get into this stuff. So sent the proposal up, and it was on it because back then I used to work Sunday to Thursday. So that was my week. I have Friday, Saturday was one weekend. I remember putting the proposal up and then getting a phone call on the Friday on one of my days off. And the other assistant editor said, mate, good news. We're going to do Connect. It was cool. That's why I pitched the name. Yeah. And he goes, first edition is due on Tuesday. So I was playing golf with my brother. I said, boys, I've got to go. So I went and put together the first edition of the Connect lift out in October 2003. Wow. And it was a runaway success.
Yeah, wow.
There's all this advertising revenue coming in.
Was there many people doing tech back then in that sort of format?
Yeah, the Herald had a section, and it was everyone was sort of feeling their way because consumer tech sort of wasn't on its feet yet.
Yeah.
And, mate, it eventually made that much money. We got sponsorship through Harvey Norman sponsored it.
Yeah,
I was in the room, $8 million a year deal. The publication went national, so it went to Melbourne, Brisbane, everywhere. And that's what the start of my tech career. And then towards 2010, around that time, 9-10, the company panicked a bit about the GFC.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
And they thought, you know
rest of the
what,
world.
we can't have separate editions. We're going to have one. So they put it in. So rather than every state having their own edition, they said, we're going to put it in one. And it was really a bit of a political situation where none of the Sydney writers could be the editors because the features editors were from Sydney as well.
Yeah.
So I was answering to this woman who's been just writing tech for 6 months, and I'm thinking, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And the product really suffered. I was getting phone calls from the advertising department saying, mate, what are we doing here? I said, look, make me the boss and I'll fix it tomorrow. But that was what led me to think, well, you know what, I can do this better myself.
Yeah.
So I handed in my resignation in 2010. December 2010, I walked out of News Limited, December the 10th, with the URL www.techguide.com.au. My old man, God bless him, shouted me, he goes, look, son, if you reckon you could do this, I'll buy it for you. I said, thank you. Cost me, someone else owned it, so I had to buy it off them.
Right.
And so I had to buy it off them.
Yeah.
So it cost me a few grand back then. It was it was like $5,000 I had to pay for it.
Yeah.
So my old man paid for it. And then 6 weeks later, Tech Guide was born.
Yeah, wow.
And we've been going ever since. So I hope that was a short story
that's awesome.
of how we got started, mate.
That's a good
So
story.
what were the early days like? How was the journey? Sort of how did you go about sort of establish? I mean, you had the credibility, of course, from your work, but how did you sort of attract advisors, advertisers, and how did you sort of attract an audience to sort of listen to you independent of the newspaper?
Well, mate, that's a great question. And it was, mate, I was like, because like I said, I was a sports editor at one point. So my money at I was on good money. I had a real good contract. And, mate, it was a massive gamble to say, well, I'm out. I'm going to go start from scratch here. But luckily for me, I was already doing a lot of radio, TV. So I was Stephen Fenech already. You know, people looking at this tech bloke. What's he talking about? So I had that brand
you're
already.
An influencer before influencers were invented.
There you go. Yeah. So that helped when I was I remember when I resigned from News Limited, I rang all my radios, like Chris Smith on 2GB at the time. I said, mate, just let you know, I've resigned from News, but I'm going to start my own tech website. If you want to go with someone else, it's up to you. And he goes, no, mate. He goes, we've got no loyalty to News Limited. You're our man.
Yeah, nice.
And thankfully, everyone else was like that. All the radios kept me and all the companies kept me. Like they said, well, you're not Stephen Fenech from the Daily Telegraph. You're Stephen Fenech. And we still want a relationship with you, like Samsung, Apple. I was still on their list to do stuff. You
built your personal brand.
That's right. And thankfully, I was able to then get all these people who were listening to me from the Telegraph and just bring them to Tech Guide. And the great relationships I'd built with all these different companies over these years, that was helping me then get my feet off get on my feet with advertisers.
Yeah.
So I was suddenly now, before at the Telegraph, didn't have to worry about any of that.
Yeah, that's right.
Now I was, and again, my dad my dad ran a really successful cleaning business, was a great businessman. And he was just the perfect advisor for me when I started. He was saying, look, you need to do this and you need to do that and, pay yourself and do this. And, mate, he was the best help that I could have asked for and really encouraged me and helped me get on my feet, like on my own.
Yeah.
And, mate, so that's what led to it. And I've just sort of built it up ever since. And it's become the brand I'm really proud of now, as a real trusted brand.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So you
and with your help too, boys. You helped me out with a little bit of SEO improvement over here. So
thank you, mate.
You're responsible for my success as well, mate.
That's good to hear. What's the how do you piece? I mean, you mentioned you've done probably almost 1,000 podcasts with everything else. You do radio, TV. Yep. You obviously have your website and social channels. How do you piece all the mediums together?
Yeah, that's it's my philosophy is all roads lead to Tech Guide.
Right.
Tech Guide is where it starts. So if there's a story on Tech Guide, if I've written a review, if I've come up with an idea, it's going to be born on Tech Guide.
Right. Everything else, so that's secondary.
That's right. So that's my foundation. So anything else off that, my social media, radio, chats, if it's not on my website, I'm not going to talk about it on the radio. So I want people to go back to the website. So it's like
strategy.
Strategy
you're continuing to build your brand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, well, from that then, came the social media, and then, I do the odd review video as well, and sort of we're trying to take on, all the different platforms because not everyone's going to catch it directly a tech guide. Not everyone's going to be listening to 2GB or some of the other stations or be watching anything like that. So trying to sort of put it out there where it is, my normal sort of my normal sharing of my material, and hoping that it all, as I said, all roads leading back to Tech Guide. Yeah.
So if you were going to start Tech Guide again today in this year right now from scratch, what would you do differently?
But it'd be tough. It'd be tough because I don't reckon you could start it as a website. I reckon if it was today, if I left the telly last week and start, okay, I'm going to start Tech Guide, I think it'd be just purely social media. It'd be like I hate the word. It'd be like an influencer. You'd have to like a content creator.
Yeah,
I would prefer to call myself. Yeah. It'd be probably more in that medium. Like I'm doing that now, of starting with the website, but I reckon I would have done it the other way around. I would have done Instagram and TikTok and all those first, and then have that. A lot of content creators don't have what I have. They've only got their video content, which I can do anyway. I can do what they do, but they can't do what I do with a website, running a website and having something like a record of what I've done. So once their story goes after 24 hours, who's going to be looking at their stuff? Yeah, that's I had an interesting conversation with one of the PR guys. We went, I think it was years ago, it was with Huawei, took us to Paris for a big smartphone launch. I'm thinking, how good's this, right? But half of them were journos. Yep. The other half were influencers. Yeah. Right. And I'm thinking, and the guy, Sal, his name, he's a real great bloke who was doing the PR for Huawei at the time. I said, mate, how do you come up with this mixture, with this mix? Like, well, what's the story? And he said, well, look, what we do, he goes, influencers create the buzz. Yep. You, as in the tech journalist, create the sale. Yeah. So initially, if the phone's got this buzz, okay, oh, look at this, a new phone, great, and their bit's done. And then to find out more about it and to see if it's actually worth buying, they'll come to me. Yeah. They'll go to Tech Guide and read my review.
It's the authority.
Trusted person, right? Who's going to give them their opinion. Because like that's one thing I pride myself on is my trust and people that respect my opinion.
You've become a go-to name.
So and people, mate, they're willing to spend thousands of dollars on my say-so because I think it's worth buying.
What recommendations would you have for a small business owner, not in your field, just a small business owner who wants to also become like a go-to sort of name in their industry?
Well, I think, the what's the saying? The squeaky wheel gets the oil. You got to make noise. You got to be out there. You can't sell a secret. Yeah. Right. So if you're a small business wanting to get more leads and everything, then you need to be thinking laterally. You need to be thinking, well, okay, I need to get online. I need to get find these new customers. Where are the customers at? The customers are out here on these platforms, on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube. That's the new advertising. You might want to have an ad on TV, but you're hoping that's going to get your audience. But if you pop an ad on Facebook or wherever you want to do it, you could point out, okay, you could really specify who you want to attract. So I'd say, make noise, get out there, like be creative. Like you're thinking, how many times you scroll through things, people talking about something, and you got to stand out from the crowd. That's the big thing.
I think you did it exceptionally well in the early days. I mean, I remember would have probably been 2012 now when we first got together and started working together, and you sort of came to us to expand your organic presence and your SEO presence, but you already had massive traffic numbers just based off the authority and the content. I don't know if you recall a few years ago now, but when we did the initial order on the website, I was like, man, this guy is smashing it. His content is generating a lot of traffic, and you didn't actually have an active SEO program back then or an active digital marketing strategy until you sort of came on board with us.
I want to know I think that's one thing I pride myself. I'm a writer first. Yeah. My writing.
That's what's paid off for you.
I'm a journalist. Right? Yep. I'm not an influencer. I'm a journalist, and so that's what I pride myself on. My content on the site, which it's funny. Like I remember working at the Daily Telegraph. I worked hard. Yeah. But I reckon I worked 10 times harder on Tech Guide. Yeah. Because I'm thinking this is all for my benefit. Like at the Telegraph, I could write 10 stories and my pay packet was the same. Yeah. At Tech Guide, I'm running my own show. The more effort I put in, the more work I put in, the better it was for me. And that was a massive massive inspiration for me to
Yeah.
really sort of got me off my feet and thought, right, let's go. And I even feel guilty when I haven't written something. I've got to write something. I need to post. I've got to keep the content rolling. And so I'm pretty strict on myself like that. Like I'm up till late at night, and when you work for yourself, you work 24/7, right? So I'm often tapping away at 1 o'clock in the morning because I might have a meeting the next morning. Like I came here with you guys today, and I had my stories ready the night before to post. So it's out there.
I saw that. The big
was
Telstra,
very disciplined.
The
That's
big
one
Telstra,
thing. Mate, wasn't that a busy day yesterday?
I saw your story come up this morning.
Well, that was a busy day yesterday. I was on the radio 28 times yesterday talking about it. So but no, that's one thing I pride myself on. I'm my discipline to get it done. To write, to make sure that there's not I have the weekends off, but there's not a day during the week where I don't post something.
Yeah,
has to be something there. And I get opportunity to see products early. Like I respect their embargoes and have them ready when the embargo lifts. So people know, okay, well, it's going to be there. Yeah.
Mate, speaking of content, tell us about is it Human First? Is that what you're...
100% human.
100% human. So tell us about that initiative.
Yeah, well, that was actually started by Val Quinn. Val is the tech bloke on Sunrise sometimes. Val, Val, the gadget guy.
Yeah, 100%.
And he and I are great mates. And he came up with a concept and said we sort of said we should all get together, us independent tech journos. So there's myself, Val, Trevor Long, who's got EFTM. Val's got Gadget Guy. Duro Sen's got Image Matrix as well. And at the time we thought, well, we need to sort of stand up for each other and sort of say, well, let's put it out there that despite us being independent, we're not going to let AI write any of our content. Yeah. We're going to make sure this is a stamp to say a quality guarantee that what you're seeing on Tech Guide was written by a human. And in Tech Guide's case, by me. There's a lot of sites out there that are just pumping out AI-produced content.
Yeah, well, this is a massive problem in our industry as well.
Mate.
And so Google has put all sorts of guardrails. So was there a moment where you felt the AI shift or the AI slop, as sort of what it's known in the industry, has just gotten too much that you wanted to be part of that initiative? Yeah,
definitely. I was seeing a lot of other traffic and sort of noise, and because when a new product comes out, everyone's got their opinion on it, and I was seeing a lot of that stuff, thinking that seems pretty generic what they've written there, and I'm thinking, well, we could do better than that. Our standards are higher than that. Yeah. And so I decided to, we joined up, and that's now, I think that we're even encouraging other independent sites if they want to join in, or whoever wants to be part of it. It's been going for over a year now. But just in terms of AI though, what troubles me is that Google AI and the AI summary and I'm sure you're aware of this, right? How it affects
a massive part of our marketing program.
There you have it. So the click-through, like if the example I'd use would be people come to my site to read my reviews, right? Yep. So they're doing their research on Google. I want to buy a 75-inch TV and go, hey, it's Tech Guide's review. Let's read that. Yeah. So all they need to do now is say, what's the best 75-inch TV under $5,000?
That's right.
Google will just go, scrape everyone, including me, credit me, but the reason they're doing that is they want a quick answer, and Google's going to give it to them. I don't get the click.
No.
That's what's concerning to me. And I know my numbers haven't really dropped that much, but they're probably even gone up.
Everyone's numbers have dropped a little bit because we're calling that the zero click, right? Yeah. So it's what you're finding is most businesses have to be prepared to measure their traffic differently because, everyone's used to measuring traffic, organic traffic, is it up? But now you have this zero click initiative. So what would be good to sort of start having a look at is to measure how many times you have been cited by the AI, because you can actually track all that.
I'd say it'd be a lot.
It would be a lot. It would be a lot. Yeah.
Because thanks to you guys, whenever there's a news story or something, and I search in the news section, there I am among all the others, right? High up in the list.
Yeah.
And, I can remember early on when I first, because don't forget, I came from a newspaper, right? Yeah. So I'm a newspaper journo. And, mate, I used to pride myself on the really smart headlines I used to write. But I learned pretty quickly that you can be smart in your headline, but if it doesn't have the right words in it, someone's got to actually click on it.
That's correct.
So that was a steep learning curve for me back then.
Clickbaiting.
Just back to the AI, I'm thinking, well, I still have to have this unique content. I still have to have my opinion, and Google. Thankfully, my readers are still coming through, and my reviews traffic is higher than anything else I write. because people want my opinion.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that's I'm happy
Google
about. Yeah.
actually citing you and crediting you is a massive notch to your authority, because they only do that for the most credible sources.
Okay.
Because Google doesn't want to give bullshit answers to people, right?
Of course.
So you getting cited in there, yes, it will reduce your organic traffic a little bit, but it's also a massive notch in the fact that you're credible enough for someone like Google to actually cite
to use as a reference. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Oh, that makes me feel a bit better.
Yeah, well, that's good. I'm here to help. So, do you think with the 100% initiative that readers can tell the difference between sites like you guys and Gadget Guy and the other people sort of writing this versus AI-driven content websites?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I reckon there's a real. I don't know. I don't know about you, but I can spot AI. You can kind of spot it.
Yeah, you can spot it.
Do you use it at all to help?
I use it to help me come up with frameworks of stuff. Like whenever I'm planning a podcast, our movie podcast is a good example where I ask it to say, can we do the best movies you've never seen? That's Trevor and I do. Yeah. Trevor's never seen a movie in his life, right? I'm a massive movie fan. And we actually thought of this idea live on our Two Blokes show and said, we're going to do a movie show. Yeah. He'd never seen, I remember we were talking about The Sound of Music.
Well, some of those ones
have you never seen The Sound of Music?
Some of those ones that you come up with, we see the emails and it says, best movies you've never seen. And it's like Forrest Gump. I'm like, who's never seen it?
Trevor's never seen it. It's Trevor's never seen it, right? So it's really
it's a running joke in the office.
It's a popular podcast because the best movies you've never seen, Trevor's never seen it. But someone who's 25
living under a blanket.
But younger people might not have seen it.
I can actually let Andy know now.
My daughter's 31 now. She was born in 1995.
Yeah.
So anything before 1995 to her is old. What's that? Like they've never seen it. So anyway. Yeah. But to answer your other question though, the AI, you can kind of tell. Like I don't know, if people read me enough to know my turn of phrase and how I write, and so I don't think AI's quite nailed that yet. Like AI's pretty. It's kind of Diet Coke. I'm Coke. Like I'm the real deal. They're sort of Diet Coke. It's sort of the watered down, lighter version of what we do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, cool. And in terms of like you deal with obviously a lot of brands, you're dealing with massive names, global brands, sort of things like that. I'd like to have a little chat about how you feel. I mean, this is a marketing podcast. How you feel about their marketing tactics and how it relates to the actual products. Like, do you think brands are doing a good job marketing their products versus when you actually review it, like what the actual product is? Or do you read a list of a brand tells you, this does this, and it has this, and it uses 10,000 nano whatever of AI to do this, and then you grab it and it's like, nah, this is crap. Yeah. Like, does that happen? Like, does the marketing reflect what the actual real product does?
Yeah, usually I think the marketing is. I think like companies like Apple and Samsung. Yeah. I think let's use them as the examples. For them, I reckon less is more.
Yeah.
So their brands are big enough to tell you how big Apple's brand is. They can just put up a photo on a billboard and just say shot on iPhone.
Yeah.
They don't even need to show the iPhone.
Yeah.
But here's what you can do with it.
Yeah.
Samsung's similar way. Like they do show their products, but it's all about the desirability of the product and the tech. Not so much the tech in the product. You've got to remember that's my job to explain all the tech in it, right? That's one thing I pride myself is that I can simplify stuff for people.
Because
I can take it and explain it.
Your brand, the Tech Guide niche, correct me if I'm wrong, is kind of geared towards the non-techie sort of everyday consumer.
Mate, I
to sort of simplify.
That was the mission from day one. Similar to what we did at the Telegraph, the Connect lift out. None of our readers are experts.
Yeah.
And when I set up Tech Guide, that was my approach too. Like 99% of people aren't tech experts.
Yeah.
So that's a big audience.
Yeah.
I didn't want to write I could write as detailed and technical as anyone else.
Yeah.
But people can go, huh?
Yeah.
What's this mean?
Yeah.
Like I looked at it thinking
for that, another platform for that.
Exactly.
It's a smaller niche.
They can go to another full-on tech website that may have that's a different audience, but the mums and dads out there, I call them.
Yeah.
So 2GB audience as well. Yeah. The older, like I track old. Like I reckon a lot of people over 40, 50, they wait on because I'm on 2GB.
Yeah.
They really read and listen to and trust what I say. But I think it's Yeah, I've always been, the person who can take something complicated and explain it in plain English. That's my job.
What factors do you sort of rate highly in your sort of rating sort of scale when you want to highly recommend a product? Where what weights more for you? Is it like things like, is it like price, or is it what's your sort of weighting like?
Well, there's a lot of factors. Like my review process is I put myself in the customer's shoes.
Yeah.
So companies often want to say, right, we're going to send you the product, but have you got time for a 1 hour briefing? I went, whenever a customer buys your product, do you give them 1 hour briefing? They go, no. I said, well, I don't want one. I want to be the customer. Yeah. Right? Some companies insist that they're not going to give you the product until you have a briefing, right? Yeah. Apple is like that.
Yeah.
Apple won't give you a review product until you've done a briefing, which is their policy, right? But other companies will say, look, mate, if you don't do it for customers, I want to be a customer. And so that's how I put myself in. Like I haven't paid my own money for this, but I want to put myself in the customer's shoes that, I've paid $2,000 for this product. I want to experience it, open it up and set it up, and that's how I approach it. Rather than here's another product you got for free to review for 3 months.
Yeah,
I want to pretend like I put my hard earned down.
Yeah,
and then go from that angle rather than sort of be from the privileged influencer who's got this. Look at me, what I got for nothing, and here is how it works.
Well, I think that would play a huge part in your credibility.
Absolutely,
and your audience knows that as well.
Totally, totally. Because that, mate, I think that's the jewel in my crown is my reviews, my opinions, the trust people have in me.
Yeah. And what do you obviously, as we're throughout the last maybe 5 years, more and more products have AI sort of built into them. Give us a bit of insights into does it actually work? Is it actually good? Is it a marketing
lot of the time
gimmick?
It's just marketing, right?
Yeah, I mean, is it marketing spin?
Well, I think it's evolved from like 5 years ago, and even more recently, everything was smart.
Yeah.
So you had a smartphone, you had smart glasses, smartwatch, smart fridge. Everything was smart. Yeah. AI has now taken over from that.
Yeah, right.
If it's
smart,
like if it's got AI, you assume it's smart. So AI is now the new term of the.
So people aren't using the word smart in their sort of marketing
not as often.
Anymore?
No,
not as often.
Not as often. Yeah, I refer to products as smartphones or whatever. But if it's in their approach to selling the product and pitching it for me, even to review it, AI has now taken over as that.
Yeah.
And like in some products, I'm thinking, wow, that's pretty good. Others, it's just, okay, it's still pretty much more smart than AI.
Yeah, right. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And what do you, how do you find the advertisers in this sort of current market? Is it like, how are you attracting sort of advertisers, and what advice would you sort of give to sort of other people sort of looking to sort of get PR for their own brand? So like a smaller brand, for example, if they want to generate sort of PR for their brand, how would they go about doing that?
With me or just in general?
Just in general.
Yeah. Well, I think, to answer your first part, attracting advertisers, I reckon it's due to my relationships with companies. I've built really good relationships with them, and how I pitch my advertising would be, okay, you've got anyone who supports me, I get support back.
Yeah.
So you support me, I'm going to support you. So if you advertise on my site, you'll be the first choice. If I've got a pile of products over here that I need to review, if your product will get preference.
Right.
And you'll probably get first mention on the radio if I'm doing a roundup of stuff. So that's how I have to operate, because they're getting more than just a bit piece of the website and the traffic that generates, the click-throughs, but they also get that as well. So my support in return, editorial reviews, and it's all built through the relationships I've had over the years. And like I pitch regularly to companies and say, look, here's what I can offer. We can do this, and I've got my media kit and everything as well. Yeah. And I've got to be out there to maintain. That's my revenue. Yeah. I've got to have those advertisers. And every podcast we don't do it without a sponsor.
Yeah.
Like Trevor and I, when we did Two Blokes, we've had 2 sponsors from the get-go. Tech Guide's had the same 2 sponsors for 14 years. That's how they've stuck with me.
Yeah.
Our EV podcast has got 2 sponsors. We don't do a podcast without the sponsors.
Yeah.
That's another revenue stream for us as well. So Trevor brings one in, I bring the other one in. And in the case of Tech Guide, I brought them both in. and they get that support. And luckily for me, I got in early. Like podcasting. Yeah. People are really into it now.
Yeah.
And I was already established. So the brands really appreciate that. So being on your podcast is a big deal for them.
Yeah.
They consider that new media. I think, oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, right.
That's how they're tracking their marketing.
Yeah.
Like they say, oh, hang on, you got a story on Tech Guide. You're going to talk about us on the radio. Oh, hang on, you're on the podcast too. Whoa. That's new media. That scores bigger points for them.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, it's more coverage, it's more attention.
That's it.
Yeah, multiple
My
formats.
reach, that's what I sell them. So what I'm trying to say is my reach is what I sell people.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the advertisers, they get my reach.
What about the smaller brands looking to sort of, this was something a few of our sort of smaller brand clients would sort of always sort of ask us, how can they attract more attention to their brand? Maybe through a medium such as Tech Guide and sort of things like that. But just
I
in
get
general.
approached a lot. Like there's a lot of companies that pitch me a product, and often and still now and in the early days, okay, send me the product and I'll write about it.
Yeah,
it was as simple as that.
Yeah.
But now that I've sort of grown and sort of my brand's a bit more well known, I see that if they want to get like the full breadth of my coverage, then let's do a deal. Like if I specify really clearly, I said, and I do this, look, full transparency, I do like sponsored work for Samsung and other brands, right? So they pay me to write certain articles, but they're not reviews.
Yeah.
I do not accept $1 for a review. You can't buy my opinion.
Yeah.
Yep.
But a lot of sponsored work I do would be, Samsung wanted to write about how our TVs are built for the Australian environment. Yeah. Yep, sure. Or a small company might have a product they want to put up against, it's a new smart product they want me to write about. And I'll say, well, look, if you want to, I can give you this reach. If you want to sort of launch it that way, that's up to you.
So it's as simple as outreaching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Mate, I get 10 of those emails a day.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's what I thought. Do people like yourself actually pay attention to smaller brands? And not just you in general, but like say a smaller brand would outreach to sort of, 10, 20 different journalists.
Yeah, no, I do. Yeah. I do. And like, mate, I'm on that list. When say a brand's got something to market, I'm on that list where they might have heard me on the radio, they'll read my story, and I'm on the list, and I'm happy to look at it. And why not? They're having a go.
Yeah,
I respect that. They're having a go, and I'm thinking it's flattering to think that they think I can help them.
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
I'm thinking, okay, let's talk. If you want me to do something, and honestly, more often than not, I do it. Just send me the product, and that's how I do it.
Yeah.
I don't accept any money. I say, let's have a go.
Yeah, cool.
And there's one brand. Have you heard of that bag brand STM? Have you heard of STM? Standard Technical Aussie backpack company.
Yes.
Mate, I remember writing about them when they were just the partners was a woman and a guy. Adina is the woman. I don't think she's still there anymore. And Ethan, I think his name is. They started that brand out of a garage in Bondi. Yeah. And I remember writing about them at the Telegraph, and being in the Telegraph helped them build their business to what it is today. And now they're in Apple stores and they're everywhere. And that's an example of how, they're a battler, and they just reached out, and I thought, okay, let's have a go. And now they're a massive company.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, nice. And what do you have any big plans for the Tech Guide for the future? Anything on the horizon? What are you sort of planning these days?
I want to be able to, like, I think we've had this conversation about sort of, I know AI and SEO and sort of ranking in the ChatGPT searches and stuff like that. I'm sure you're already doing that, are you?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's good.
Just a little.
Yeah. I think I'd like to I tried to diversify what I write about too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be writing out phones and TVs every day.
Yeah.
Like the other day I wrote about a pair of running shoes.
Yeah. How'd you get into the whole EV stuff? I see you doing a lot of that now.
Yeah, well, we've got the podcast. I do write a bit of it on Tech Guide, but we've got our EV podcast that's actually now more popular than our tech podcast.
Oh, wow.
The EV podcast, we have callers. We call people. It's us like a chat at the barbecue. This would be like when I bought my EV, I bought my Tesla like in 2018. I've been driving an EV for nearly 10 years, right?
You took me for a drive.
I gave you for a burner. You took me for a burner.
And I was like, whoa.
I think you had to get your neck adjusted after that.
Yes. Yep, I recall that.
Because you had the
Model S.
The fast version.
The Model S, I did.
Yeah, the performance one.
And I remember getting into that, and I'm thinking,
It's a shame they don't sell the Model S here anymore.
Mate, tell me about it. I'll tell you the story about that. But I remember before that, I was a Merc man, right? I'm a Merc guy.
Yeah.
And I remember when I got the Model S to drive just to write about it, I'm thinking, wow, this is the future. This is amazing. And I thought, well, my lease was up. I'm thinking, I'm getting a Tesla. And I got the Model S, loved it, had it for 5 years, put my order in for the Model S, the new one.
Yes,
right?
I remember this.
2 years later, they go, we're not making right-hand drive. I went, oh. So I'm thinking that's pretty disappointing. So anyway, I went back to Mercedes and they had EVs by then, right? So they never had EVs back then.
Yeah.
Now they had them.
Yeah.
And the bloke at Mercedes said, mate, you know what? You're the fourth person this week that's had their Tesla order cancelled and it's come to us.
Yeah, wow.
And I wrote a funny story on Tech Guide about how it's like I'm back with my ex after I stepped out with my mistress. This is sexy mistress.
I remember
And I went back to my ex.
That's awesome.
And it was like the email from Tesla was that, hey, we need to talk. It's not you, it's me.
Yeah,
we can't be together anymore. And I thought, okay, well, what do you do?
That's a good way of putting it.
But no, EV, mate, I'm all in on the EV.
Nice,
I think, and our podcast, as I said, is really popular, and it's really great way for people to hear and learn about it. Sort of dispel all the myths. There's a bit of myths around.
Yeah,
but yeah, mate, it's a growing. You see the numbers of EVs selling, mate. They're like this. It's great.
Yeah,
crazy. At the
all
moment.
right. Well, before you go, Steve, we're going to chuck some rapid fire questions at you,
Let's
mate.
go, mate.
Are you ready for
Let's
it?
go.
All right. You want to have a crack?
No, you go for it. It's
all
all
right,
good.
sweet. Apple's new Siri AI. Is it legit or not yet?
It is, and it took them 2 years to do it.
Yeah.
So do you remember they announced it at WWDC, Worldwide Developers Conference 2024? I was there.
Yeah.
They said, here's what I can do, and it was do this and that.
Yeah.
And it took 2 years to deliver on that promise. But now that I've seen it in action with the beta version, the developer version.
So it's not actually out yet?
No. Well, there'll be a public beta coming through in July, at least this month.
Yeah.
So, and it won't be available publicly iOS 27 till September.
Is it like a rebadged ChatGPT? Is it their own?
It's their own.
Oh, okay.
But they've got Google Gemini, though, as the foundation. So whatever they can't do, they give it a Google Gemini, but then they go out. If you do have to go to the cloud, it's a private cloud compute.
Yeah.
So they don't share your data. It's really private. Yeah.
So it took them a while, but they get it.
I reckon they've nailed it.
Oh,
they've nailed it.
That good.
Yeah, it took them 2 years, but they've done it.
Yeah, all right.
Good, okay.
Mate, next one. AI in our TVs and fridges. Do we really need it?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, AI, I think, is good for a couple of things. One, it helps optimize the quality of your picture. Like say, let's use Samsung as the example.
Yeah.
You can have AI optimization. So picture quality is really subjective. Sure. So what you think's pretty good, I might think, not so good, right?
Yeah.
But AI lets you optimize it. So you can go in and manually say, I prefer that over that, I prefer that over that, and then set it like that. But AI does a really good job in optimizing it for the conditions. So it's for the lighting and the sound quality and all that.
Yeah.
So, and in your fridge too, like AI is remarkable actually in your fridge. AI can know what's inside the fridge. Like Samsung have got a fridge that when you're putting stuff in the fridge, it knows what you're doing. It's got a camera that says, that looks like an orange, that's milk, that's bread, that's vegetables, and it'll tell you what's in your fridge. And so you can say, well, what can I cook? And it'll look. It goes. It knows everything in your fridge. It goes. I reckon you should
so
make
it is
this.
actually useful.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. Yeah. I think optimization with AI is real. That is in those cases really good.
All right.
Yeah.
Name one gadget from the last 12 months that genuinely blew you away.
Mate, I reckon I've used the Vision Pro, the Vision, Apple's Vision Pro.
Apple's Vision, yeah.
That is remarkable.
Okay.
Like it's $6,000, right? It's expensive, right? You'd think that if they had started at a lower price point, it would have made VR everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's a funny story with, do you remember HTC?
Yep.
Yeah,
remember them?
Of course, yeah.
They used to make really good phones. Yeah. They've pivoted now. They're fully VR headsets.
Right.
And I know the boss of Thomas Dexby's name. It's a really good bloke.
Yeah.
And I remember asking him, I said, mate, he goes, how do you feel about Apple doing this? Are you worried? He goes, mate, I can't wait for them to do it. Yeah. I said, what do you mean? He goes, because they're going to make it real. They're going to make it
and it'll be
the rising tide lifts all boats, mate. He 100%. Said, bring it on.
Yeah.
He couldn't wait.
Yeah.
So that tech is amazing, but it takes a lot to get it on and to use it, and it's a solo experience.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. So, but interestingly, I reckon they've started with the Pro version. So they've gone Vision Pro. So they can only come down from there to more customer level. So the smart glasses, like I've tried the Meta AI, and I've just received a pair of the in-display glasses.
Okay.
I reckon that's the new direction. Like I reckon, here's this prediction, right? In the next 5 to 10 years, we won't be carrying phones anymore.
Yeah, wow.
It'll all be these smart glasses because the display's there. You might have a watch that can connect you to wherever you got to go, whatever you need.
Yeah.
And everything's there that you need, unless you want to watch a movie or something, or you can send a message just by talking. And the smart glass, like Samsung's involved here too. Samsung have already got deals with like glasses manufacturers as well. And that's the new frontier, I reckon.
Yeah, interesting times. Yeah. One piece of tech every small business owner should stop ignoring.
Stop ignoring. Well, you know what? AI is there's so many agents like Claude and all these things. And my brother Michael is actually you get him on your show.
Yeah, I watch some of his stuff.
He's an expert AI. He's goes in for companies. He's got a business now where he can streamline your business. Like he's got a freight business that he's all set up through AI.
Yeah.
So I reckon you need to play. AI can help you play smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
So I reckon that's what you subscribe to it. Whatever one you want to choose.
Yeah.
Pay your $20-$30 a month and let it help you.
Yeah,
like
good advice.
It'll like it can do things like we use it on Two Blokes Talking Tech. We've got Claude, and Claude has ingested every podcast we've ever done. Right. So yesterday we were talking about something and we just went in and said, when was the last time we spoke about this? And then it went boom.
Yeah, right there.
30 seconds.
Yeah, it would have taken you forever.
Yeah. So that's just one example. That's probably not the right example for a business, but if there's ways you can generate leads, sort of automate things.
Well, it's the possibilities.
I
mean, if it's going to save you time, make you more efficient, do what you need to do.
Like
it's more time to run
smarter,
your actual business.
not harder.
Yeah.
I reckon that's key.
Beautiful. Last question, Fenno. And then we're done, mate. Most overhyped thing in tech right now?
Overhyped thing in tech? That's a hard one. I see so much of it. I think everything's pretty much genuinely hyped at the moment.
Yeah.
Put it this way. I don't review a product. If I know something's crap, it's not going to get the time of day.
Yeah.
That's why people say to me, guys, how come your reviews are all 8 and 9s and 9.5s?
Because you're not bothering.
Because I'm not bothering with the garbage, So the overhyped stuff I've just ignored.
Yeah.
So it hasn't hit my radar. Yeah. So everything that I've reviewed is a product that I would genuinely use myself and that would be of benefit to my readers.
Yeah. Awesome, mate.
Yeah.
All right, Fenno. Well, thank you for coming along,
my
mate.
pleasure.
I really appreciate it.
We're already done. No, we're so quick.
Yeah, we keep it short and sweet.
I can't talk, mate, as you know. I don't have 5 podcasts for nothing, mate.
But look, mate, congrats on all the success for Tech
Thank you,
We've
mate.
worked together for, I don't know how long now.
Yeah, 13 years now.
13 years.
Long time.
Only good
Thanks,
stuff
mate.
ahead. Thank you for
I
popping
owe some of my success to you guys too, mate. Your hard work here.
I appreciate
doing
it,
the work in the background for me, mate. Wouldn't be where I am today without you guys. Thank you.
Appreciate it, mate. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, boys.
Stay tuned for our next episode of Sip on This.